So I just plasti dipped my Subaru Outback's rims. You can see that, and then I also did the grill as well. And it both turned out nice. And I just have some advice to give you guys. Like, first, when you go to do the tires, you want to get the rims very clean. I personally used one of these towels, microfiber towels, I think, and then a smoother one. So I took this big blue one and I wiped down the rims really well, and then afterwards I took a little green one and I really got all those little smudges out. Because if you don't get all the dirt out, when you spray it over, there'll be little bumps where the dirt is. So you want to get it really clean. And then the next thing you want to do, you want to cover up your brakes, because you don't want to plasti dip the brakes, or else that could really mess it up. And oh yeah, and then also you want to put some like painter's tape on the rims, on the tires itself, because you don't want to paint your tires. That'll look pretty bad, which I actually messed up. That's one of the things I was going to tell you. So some areas where I messed up is I didn't put enough tape. As you can see, I put tape about an inch, but it's sprayed all the way up here as well. And now I have, it's not too noticeable from a distance, but if you get it up close, it kind of looks like crap. The other thing, which I don't exactly know how to correct, the very top of the rim didn't get plasti dipped, and I think that's because the painter's tape was covering it. So I don't have any advice for that. For this, I would just put two layers of tape to really get it covered. And for the brake, oh yeah, the other thing is, so I put painter's tape on my brakes themselves. However, I forgot to put it on this part of the rim, and as you guys could see, I got plasti dipped the inner portion of the rim, which looks kind of shitty when this looks nice, but then you have a little bit of black and the gray. It just looks like a lazy job. However, let's see, other than that, you want to do multiple coats. You start off with an even coat. You want to continuously be moving it back and forth as you go up and down the wheel, because if you stay too long in one spot, it starts to build up. If you guys could see this, these are little drops that built up because I stayed in too much. I stayed here too long, and the plasti dip started to build up, and these little bubbles appeared, and it looks pretty bad if you're up close, but you can't see it from a distance. Another thing I'd suggest is the bolts. It's kind of hard to get the inner portion of here, so I had to go through these a few more times. I ended up having to do about 8 or 9 coats, because another thing you guys want is good lighting, because I had poor lighting in my garage, and I couldn't see, with the poor lighting, I couldn't see the areas I was missing, so I missed the inside of these bolts pretty bad, so I had to go through and redo it all. And the other last big point I have for plasti dipping your wheels, I didn't take my rims off. I left it on my car, and which is a lot easier than having to take your rims off. However, your rims are round, so when I sprayed, I got everything coated pretty nicely except these bottom parts. This bottom part, I forgot to coat it, because when you're spraying down, but I didn't spray upwards. So when you guys do it, make sure to spray from all angles. Spray from the right angle, then spray from the left, spray forward, spray coming from up to down, and from down to up, so you can really cover all the areas. And yeah, other than that, I don't have any other advice. Like, you guys can learn from my mistakes, so your rims turn out pretty nice. These are just stock rims. They're the ones that my Outback came with, and they look pretty nice in black. So now onto my grill. So I plasti dipped my grill as well. And so for the grill, you want to put some painter's tape. I put it along the body of the car, because you don't want to, paint your body. So for me, it was very easy because there's a gap between my hood and my grill. So I just put the tape right over, maybe even a little bit lower, and I covered the entire gap. down there. However, the tricky part was when there was no gap, like in here. I know my camera's a little blurry, but right here my grill touches my touches the body, and there's no gap at all. I mean, see, like here you could see a clear gap. I'm sticking my finger in here, but there's no gap. So you really want to try to get the painter's tape right in there as much as you can, because or else it gets really hard when you pull off the tape. I'll show you some pictures so you can get a clear vision, but a lot of times when you pull off the tape, little rough edges are still stuck along the hood of the car. I mean, as you can see a little bit here. I'll take a picture so you guys could see it much better. And then the other thing, for my logo, I plasti dipped the logo, and then afterwards I went to peel it off. However, I went to peel it, but started peeling off the edges. Like you could see a little bit here. I'll also take pictures of this to make it easier to see. But I peeled off the edges on both these. What I would recommend is that once you guys plasti dip this and you let everything dry, it takes about 4 hours to completely dry. And once it's dry, I take a box cutting knife or something with a sharp blade and actually cut right along this crease between your logo and whatever this plastic thing is attached. So if you cut it, then when you go to peel off the plasti dip, you won't accidentally over peeling get this part. And another thing, just be careful. I accidentally scratched my logo. If you could kind of see it right there, because I used a knife that was too sharp. So if you use a knife, just be very careful. You don't want to scratch your logo or else it looks bad. And then the same thing applies to when you're spraying. Remember to get all angles, because I messed up and I forgot to get this inner side angle. I don't know how I didn't notice that. That's pretty bad on my part. But I sprayed, and then when I took the car outside, I realized that this was all, very light in here. So I had to go and redo it from that angle, and then also like coming up from this angle, so I could really get rounded surface. But in general, it turned out really nice on my Outback. The rims are nice, the grill looks nice, and it's so much cheaper than buying rims. I mean, for me, I used about 2 cans of Plasti Dip. That was maybe 10, 11 bucks. And then I used 1 roll of painter's tape. That was about maybe $5, and then some newspapers that were just laying around, so those were free. So this whole thing ended up costing me $15 to get 4 rims and my grill. Took me maybe about an hour and a half, because after you do a coat, you have to wait 30 minutes between. So when I was waiting, I was just on my computer. But it took about an hour for the initial prep, putting all the tape and newspapers in there. And yeah, so about an hour and a half of prep, then about a minute when you come down to redo each coat. So it really doesn't take that long, and it saves you. I spent maybe $20 in total compared to if I bought the rims, which the rims were like 200 bucks a rim. And I wouldn't have gotten the grill black. So I hope, this helps, and you guys should learn from my mistakes so your car turns out really nicely. Alright, see ya. Here's a close-up of the grill where I said there was some rough edges that I couldn't really get the tape to cover up. This is my logo. You can see how these edges are really rough and torn up because I forgot to cut, so you remember to cut yours. Here's a before shot of my tire. This is after I taped it up. And then here's the after product. And you can see the tires are plasti dipped. Here's my grill before. And then this is it taped up. And this is the final product. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.